Okay, please stand up. Okay, please hold the palm, one palm to the Buddha. Okay, first position. Second position. Third position. One bow to the Buddha again. Okay, please take it. Okay, as usual, please hold the palm and follow me. 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世 音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨， 世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。Okay, please follow me. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。Okay. Okay, good morning all brothers and sisters. Okay, first of all, just to remind everybody, our next lesson, okay, next lesson will be on 7, Okay, will be on 7th of August. I know that's a super long, Saturday, Sunday, and not really super long. Our National Day will be on 9th of August. Monday, they will go back to work. So the next lesson, I remind everybody again, our next lesson will be on 7th August. Now this month we do have 5 weeks. So the 5th week, 31st July, no lesson, right? You always follow the first and third week of the month. Okay? Okay, please refer to your textbook. Page 246. Now we still have a little bit of the concentration, the 5th perfection, right? Concentration. Then subsequently we'll go on to the prajna parameter, I mean wisdom. Then that actually is very, very important. Now, do you know the concentration? Of course, we already studied in the module 2. Single pointed, that means we focus on one point, to avoid, to subdue the scattered mind, make our minds focus. This is called concentration. And we know that concentration is very important in Buddhism because especially even for Bodhisattva path, right? It's actually the practice in parallel with this concentration and wisdom, 定根慧. Now, so recently I read the article from the Master Xing Yun, the Buddha Light, Fo Guan Shan at Kaohsiung in Taiwan. He said that actually usually now the pandemic we wear the mask. Of course, beside the breathing, if your masks are too thick or cloth and difficult to breathe, initially everybody feel that very uncomfortable because everything is habitual. Once you have it, got a habit, then you get used to it. And now you get used to it already. Now, he said you want to avoid the uncomfortable. If you have a concentrated mind, say,如果你有定 in Chinese, because you feel you won't feel very agitated, that kind of thing, and annoying, that kind of thing. So you'll be able to, subdue the kind of uncomfortable things, you'll be wearing the mask. And this is according to what he said. Now in Buddhism, the concentration, we need concentration in order to generate wisdom through contemplation. Last lesson I told you, contemplation. To contemplate 观照, the Dharma, and then we put into practice. And this is how we're going to generate the wisdom. And the wisdom is a unique in Buddhism. The 特色 is different from other religion. Right? I give you an example, I actually want to touch on this later on, but now since I talk about wisdom, now we know the former Prime Minister of Japan, Abe, Shinto Habe passed away. And of course, according to the news, because they say, the gunshot, they say because the religion, involved the religion because of mother, cheated by a religious organization, 100 or whatever. So all this kind in Buddhism, we talk about wisdom. If you have a wisdom, right, you'll be able to differentiate, what is wrong and right. If they talk too much of money and of course, according to Buddhism, is not to your self-benefit in order to, in Buddhism, talk about, attain liberation, but it's to their benefit in terms of, the kind of money and so on and so forth. So religious things are sometimes can brainwash you. Just like I told you already, the communist country, they don't in favor of religion, just like, country like, for instance, like mainland China in last time. So because religion, they scared that, some people will go to the extreme. Religion will fall into the extreme. It's whether you're too emotional, one of the extreme, go crazy, or, you are another extreme, too kind of devoted, another extreme. So in Buddhism, talk about middle path, right? Middle path. Okay, so now we're back to the textbook. We'll continue this concentration. Of course, according to Mahayana, this great figure, the concentration, the definition of concentration is different from in Module 2. Module 2 is just a single pointer. You focus on one point, then you achieve concentrated mind. But having said that, in so-called like great vehicle Mahayana Buddhism, they more focus on the kind of wonderful joy. Wonderful joy in terms of your body must feel comfortable because the body will affect your mind. Because as you know, human beings are made out of combination of body and mind, right? 身心组合, combination of both, and this make out human being, right? So if those people don't take up religion, of course, from our perspective, it's only half of life only, right? Because if you focus on materialistic life, this more on the matter, on the physical benefit, gain the kind of benefit, enjoy materialistic life. But spiritually, you are not really gain it because spiritual development, because if you take up religion, whatever, so nothing. So ideally, it should be combination of both, right? You enjoy materialistic life at the same time, you aim for also, spiritual development, right? In terms of religion, can be any other religion as long as it's not cult. I told you before, in South Korea or Japan, there are so many cult under, the underground one, illegal, a lot. But Singapore government, because they are controlled, right? So not too bad. You just look at those countries. Even in America, we talk about CULT, cult. When they ask you to die, you die for the sake of the God or something like that. It's very, very extreme one, very crazy one. And people believe. They believe. Why? Brainwash. They already brainwashed already, right? Okay, so back to your textbook again. Now, page 26. Let me see. We stop at 264, right? Correct? 264, huh? 263, yeah. Okay, anyway, 263, we've already finished. Now go to 264. Because 263, according to the verse, I ask you to go back to read about yourself. Like initially, practice a controlled breathing, right? Your breath, you look at the page 262, verse 153. It says mindfulness of breathing. We call control breathing. You count 1, to 10. If you in the between you miscount, then you have to do all over again. We call control breathing, right? So you count the breath in order to focus on your breath. Let's say you breathe in, out, you count 1. Breathing out, you count 2. So from 1 to 10, then you repeat again. Repeat all over again. So you keep on doing that until you get your mind's focus. But of course, there are a few ways to do it. In, out, you count 1. Or you breathe in 1, breathe out, exhalation, you count 2. But that one you have to hold your breath. Sometimes may hurt your lung, not so good. I personally prefer you breathe in, then you count 1. Then you will hear the sounds, the breathing sound. So this is initial stage. So very rough one. So until get the thing very refined, 很细的时候, you can hear the sounds. That you count naturally. You don't feel like counting already. So that one is in the so-called like sophisticated level already. 非常熟练了. Okay? That's why you read up by yourself, because all these are actually you put into practice, Even you learn the meditation from outside. Basically, if you use a controlled breathing, just like yoga, they're using this method, everything the same again. Huh? For instance, you say mindfulness of breathing includes counting. Count 1 to 10. I told you just now. You follow your breath. 1, 2, 3. You say, very easy. But if your mind is scattered, you count until 5 or 6, then you miscount again. Then you jump to 8 or 9. That cannot. You have to roll back to 1 again. So keep on going back if you miscount. Until you get the sequence right. From 1 to 10. This is called control breathing. And this has nothing to do with the religion. Because you didn't do any contemplation. You didn't mindfulness of the Buddha or Guan Yin Pusa. You didn't do that. This is more on the religious thing, teaching, the method. Control breathing is nothing to do with the religion. So those people learning yoga, they do that. All right? Breathe in, out. Just like teaching the small kid. Right? Just like those Dharma class, children Dharma class, right? Even now in Singapore, outside the school, in secular school, they also ask the kid to practice simple, very simple. Do you need the recess time or tea break? Right? It's very useful. I mean, not only for the health purpose, but you can get your mind focused. So he said, counting, following, and stopping, and the breathing should not be, blustery, 爆笑. Some people very loud one. Last time I taught the Dharma class, one student complained to me. He said, next to me, the student, he breathes so loud, He said, until very annoying. He said, I cannot focus. Something like that. Okay? Or gasping, nor should one feel the breathing until you don't feel yourself breathing. Now you can feel, you can hear yourself. If I hold the mic. 可以啊? You feel like, 哇,很喘, right? Then you make sure everything goes smooth, until you don't feel the sound, the breathing one. Okay, so this is to teach you the method how you get how to practice so-called control breathing. So now can you turn to page 264? Okay, today we continue this morning. 155 verse. To eliminate such problem and take action. We know that there's an 8 cutting action, 5-fold. Can you remember the diagram? 5-fold and 8 cutting action. 8 cutting action is to counteract the 5-fold. Like if in action, then you have to do action again. If action, you in action. That's called how you counteract. So to eliminate the problems and take action, so one should not follow or be influenced by them. Right? Do influence by them. For instance, you look at the first paragraph here. If after one has realized the presence of subtle stupor and restlessness, just now you do the chanting Namo Guan Yin Pusa, it's just a meditation. But if you want, by right, because this only 10 minutes. You practice half an hour, you can just hold the palm like that, recite the Buddha name, By the time your hand, you feel like, very stiff. So you should rest out your hand onto your stomach, near your tummy here. Right? So by right, therefore, you should rest your both hands, the arm. I mean, the palm here, rather you hold the palm. Right? Just like you worship to the Buddha. Now, so next time when you recite the Guan Yin Pusa Sen Hao, name of Guan Yin Pusa Sen Hao, you can rest your both hands, rest on your leg. I mean, in the case on your stomach, stomach here, below the stomach. Now, so once you realize the presence of subtle stupor restlessness, so one lets it go and take no action to deal with it because this is too difficult. Okay, so one make the mistake of not taking action. You cannot leave it like that. Just like you feel like stupor, you want to sleep, make sure yourself alert. So this take action. But if you don't do that, it means not taking action. So this mistake can be counteracted and eliminated only by thought. It's just that if you feel asleep, just like last night, Saturday after Saturday Night Fever, or you go to watch the National Day Parade, at the platform there, the marina there, then you feel like, okay, now you're not sleep. Then just now you do the meditation, for instance, you feel like you're going to sleep, fall into sleep. And make sure at this time, you make sure you think something. Think of the Dharma or think about something else, so you don't fall into sleep. So this is called counteract. Okay, so to think means to prepare the mind and is to attribute to do something. Make sure your mind is thinking, is working. Alright, if you're into sleep. So, to do something, and in this case, it means using thought, 想, right? Using thought to eliminate stupor and restlessness. Sometimes people fear sleeping, because you don't think, that's why you can sleep. If you think too much, you cannot sleep. Just at night time, you go to bed. Think about your work, think about tomorrow to come to the class or whatever, or think about tomorrow to do something, then your brain still very alert. For instance, last time before pre-COVID time, I do have night class to conduct Dharma class. So once I conducted, I went back. When I lie on the bed around 10 p.m., because go back around 9 something, then you wash out everything. Then you just lie on the bed, but you just cannot sleep. Initially, I cannot sleep. Why? It's your mind is too alert. Because when you're teaching, you need to think. Just as now I'm teaching, you need to think to quote example and so on and so forth. So your mind is so active, your brain, so you cannot sleep. Initially, but subsequently, because you get to eat already, because you have to teach at night time, then habit already. Okay, so this is talking about using thought to eliminate stupor and restlessness, and this is how to counter that. Okay, page 265. The rest read up by yourself. The second paragraph. When stupor or restlessness are serious and difficult, if this is come to very serious and very difficult, then how? However, one should practice special method. They have to use a special method. So one can meditate on enjoyable and virtuous things such as brightness or body mind. Because you fall into sleep, because especially with the sun so bright, how to say, unless you're very, very tired. Usually you close the curtain, then very dark, right? So that you can sleep. But having said that, some people, like last time I brought the group to overseas retreat. Then one of my students, two are share one room because it's cheaper, pay cheaper. You can have one single room, right? One single, you have to pay for it. So they share one room. Then my student, 2 are lady, then they complain to me next morning breakfast. Say, I sleep with her, horrible, very inconsiderate. I say, why? He say, night time, never off the light, then how to sleep? That means we sleep with the light open, on the light, like this so bright, then how to sleep? But some people can sleep, And how can they on the light? They don't off the light, switch off the light. There's a possibility. Why? They scared ghosts. Because it's so dark, they scared, And some people go to, the moment they enter the hotel room, they told me, 师父, 你没有念东西啊? Do you do any chanting? I said, no. What for him to do? This is not the temple. He said, no, you have to do chanting first before we enter the room. I said, why? He said, to clear those obstacles. Very superstitious. Why not? I tell you, when you encounter this kind of thing, spirit or Mara, I think it's good things, Why? Because why they don't appear to somebody, they appear to you to let you see them. 你跟他有缘嘛, there's a good condition, And more you already attend the Dharma class here, attended here, right? You already done the 观音菩萨身, right? So you transfer merit to them, They want you to transfer merit to them. 回向功德给他. Because you are Buddhist, you know how to do chanting. If I go and meet the other one, non-Buddhist one, do nothing one, then how? So, so all these are conditioned in yin. So you shouldn't feel, fear, there's a fear there, hyper. And you should say, wow, very fortunate. This is an opportunity for me to practice Dharma. Why? Do dedication, 回向. Why not? I never do chanting one. But do I see any goals? No, I think so far so good. Next time, I don't know. Okay, so back to here. Now, so this is a special method using, such as brightness or body mind. Okay? Okay, go to next verse 156. So when these problems have been overcome, simply practice straightforwardly. Because you overcome the obstacle already, right? So all this all clear already. Then just go straight forward. It's just like you're in army training, right? You have to clear the obstacle first, right? Then you clear obstacle, everything smooth, right? Everything open space, then you can walk through, Just like you're on the way to Riverberry Buddhist Lodge. You must clear obstacle. What's our obstacle? Traffic jam. But probably no traffic jam on Sunday. You must clear all those traffic jam, make sure everything's smooth, then so that you can arrive here safely and on time. You see, some people always come late. Not punctual. Some people are very bad habit one. They plan until such a way, 算准准 exactly. Then anything happen during on the way to here, then how? Then by the time it's late already. If people travel MRT also, everybody rush. Especially those old men, old lady, right? I don't know how come they're so rushed on. Big hours every 3 minutes. You miss one, another one coming already. 2 minutes, another 2-3 minutes. And tell me you are so important, VIP. 3 minutes, you can do a lot of things. I don't know. Why not? And you travel MRT, you see people do that. In Hong Kong, even worse. So many people, so crowded. They push you in. You need to rush in one. They push, then everything go in already. Hong Kong. I took their train before. So many people, very crowded. And you know how can they walking around the road, you know? You can see so many people. In Singapore, you can't see a lot of people. Although Singapore population about 5.5, 5.6 millions, Hong Kong 7 million, and then 2 million more. Do you know how come so many Hong Kong people, they walk on the road, the street, you can see, right? You travel to Hong Kong, or you watch the television. Do you know what's the reason behind, sister? Go and think about it. Okay, so when this problem has been overcome, simply practice straightforwardly. Okay, you clear the obstacle. And thus, avoid the mistake of using too much effort. If you already achieved the goal already, so just leave it, right? You don't overdo it. Some people overdo it. Then even getting worse. 弄巧反拙 in Chinese. It's just like the children, your children, initially they cannot walk 1 year old, or I don't know how many years old they can walk. 小孩子, right? You have to hold their hand, right? Mother or father, you have to hold their hand. Otherwise, they cannot stand properly, or balancing problem, small kid. Then you walk, they follow you, adult, go. Until they grow out already, do you think they want you to hold their hand? They don't want you to hold their hand, father and mother. They want who to hold their hand? Boyfriend or girlfriend? Who want to hold your hand? Father, mother. Right now? And you see, those even 5 years old, I think recently the newspaper came out, 5 years old, no, they already got boyfriend and girlfriend already, no, very mature, no, 早熟 in Chinese. You know, in India, they are you need a young age to get mature already. 很早熟了 in India. Do you know why the reason? You cannot say it's premature. Why? Because the weather is so hot. It's something to do with the climate. You talk about weather, climate. You see Singapore not too bad. Right? At least got some wind, cloudy. Now you look at those countries, you read the newspaper, right? In England, red alert, 40 degrees C, 有人死了. America. Any other country? China, Australia, France, Spain. You read the newspaper, all heat wave, kena heat wave, 热烂. And people cannot stand it. And some people will die. So people say, I want to go to the heaven. Singapore is a heaven, human heaven, 人间天堂. Where else you want to go? Where you want to go? Right? So we consider very fortunate, no, I tell you. Because I was abroad in England and Taiwan or wherever, you compare, not too bad Singapore. All right? The most temperature, 34, 35, we already 呱呱叫 already. Wow, I complain a lot, very, very hot. You go to Thailand, last time I landed at the airport, which month? June or July? I tell you, no, the barbecue, the moment you walk out the airport, without aircon walk out, it's so humid, 很闷 跟你讲 and temperature is very high, no. I don't know how they survive, no. 不能叫他去migrate to where? You know, it's really, really hot, no. Cannot stand, you cannot walk on the street more than 5 or 10 minutes, no. Everybody hide inside the room, no. They have to on the aircon, no. And those big countries, they want to on the aircon. Why they cannot on? Because lack of electricity, not enough. Not enough power, electricity. Just like in Taiwan, 跳机, 他们说跳机台北. And now summer come already. You know, Taipei is surrounded by the mountain, you know. 它是一个盆地, you know. So the heat cannot dissipate, you know. So everything trapped down there. I tell you, air pollution and very humid and very hot in Taipei. I think even now even worse. 不够电 They want to on the aircon, no power. Right? So Singapore very lucky already. Yesterday I met one student, he told me, I'm not PAB, not pay and pay. I pay to myself. You know, talking about in comparison, then you know. Right? Okay, back to here. Now, so is that avoid using too much effort. So once you achieve it, then just leave it naturally, right? Don't do too much. Okay, next one. You see the subtitle there at the below? The 9 abiding mind. So they teach you the method, the sequence in stages, 9 stages, how you achieve concentrated mind. We are talking in the great vehicle, right? In the Mahayana tradition. That's why if you study module 2, that one is actually in 3 vehicles, right? Concentration, that one very straightforward, not so complicated, but here more in detail. Right? They teach you the stages, how you reach the concentrated mind, concentration. Okay, can you see the verse 157? Inward abiding and continuous abiding. Calm abiding, abiding nearby. Harmonized abiding and quietude.
6 already, right? Followed by supreme quietude, single pointed concentration. This you have to go through, 9 stages, 叫九住心. You see the subtitle there? 9 abiding mind. In Chinese called 九住心. 9 abiding mind. It's good for you to learn some Chinese, because all are in Chinese one, basically. And Chinese, there are a lot of sutra, everything. Very rich in the Tripitaka, three basket. English, more on Tibetan tradition, right? Because most are Chinese educated one. Even you 念经, in the Buddhist lodge, they chant Hokkien or Mandarin, You hardly see people chant the Cantonese one, or Teochew. Sometimes also very nice, those kind of dialect, right? And you chant Pali or Sanskrit, that one is in Theravada tradition. For instance, there's Sangui, Buddha Sararang Kacami, Dharma Sararang Kacami, Gui for Gui Fa, Sangha Sararang Kacami. So they hardly use this kind of instrument. Okay? They just use the mouth to chant and to have such a rhythm. Okay? And actually, before we start the class, we do some chanting. It's just like in the church, If you ever go to the church, before the Bible talk, they will sing the holy song, So we are just like name for how okay or nothing wrong. Actually, only 10 minutes only, To them, they sing 1 hour, half an hour Bible talk, Throughout the 1.5 hour, I went to church in England. 半小时 talk only, Bible talk, 1 hour of singing song, holy song. God, 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 Almighty God. So this is called 9 abiding mind. Can you turn to page 266? And go some more. And maintaining equanimity without action. So this method of cessation, taught by the sages, it means taught by the Buddha, all the Buddhas, are the 9 stages of mental abiding. That's called Chinese called 九住心, 9 abiding mind. In other words, 9 stages. Have to go through 9 stages. So we go one by one, you take a look and see how you're going to achieve, the concentration. Okay, can you see the first paragraph? From collecting the mind in the beginning stages of practice to attaining right concentration. So these are the 9 abiding mind, right? According to the Mahayana tradition. So these 9 stages in the practicing the abiding mind. Number 1, inward abiding. Chinese called 内住. Inward abiding, 内住. This is number 1. In Chinese. This is the initial stage, 刚刚开始. The minds of ordinary people are always scattered, people like you and me. Like you're sitting here, but mind are thinking somewhere else. Probably your mind thinking like, 11:15 I want to eat at Buddhist lodge, my lunch at Buddhist lodge, or lunch out. Today better do lunch in, right? Today Guan Yin Dai, a lot of people. Right? Then you complain, probably the food is not so good. I eat out better. Why? Then once you want to eat out lunch out, where are you going to? Where? Orchard, nearby only. River Valley to Orchard. Although most expensive, right? Quite expensive. Okay, so directed towards external things, a state that the Confucians, right, call the mind let loose. This is what Confucians say. Okay, one more line on the right side. So practicing cessation means to collect this dispersed mind, people like you and me, dispersed mind, 散乱的心, and make it abide on an internal object of focus without letting it run towards external thing. Do influence by the external object, bring in, right, to your inner world, right? So this is the initial stage. Just like thinking about anything, then now we bring in the object, whatever, into your inner world. Now the second, called continuous abiding, Chinese called 续住, continuous abiding. Now this is the second one. So you see, when the mind initially becomes collected, once you collected already, right, those scattered mind is continue to bark like horse, because it's just like they will so, everything follow you, right? Sometimes just like wild monkey, right? They jump here and there, They won't just obey and listen to you. So how? Unwilling to surrender. They want to surrender. So after one practice for a long time, the active mind slows down, more or less, and then abides continuously in an internal state without being scattered. Initially, of course, I jump here and there, but slowly, take time, then they come down. Okay? So you take time to do, you must have some patience, right? Okay, third, calm abiding, Chinese called 安住. Abiding is called 住. Calm abiding. At this stage, although the mind is said to have abide continuously, just like continue to come down, it is still momentarily forget, to be mindful and become scattered. Not steady yet. Sometimes also, thinking about this here and there. However, the practice that have led to this stage have trained one to immediately detect, forgetfulness or scatteredness of the mind as soon as it begins to happen. Because you are much more alert. Once something happens, you quickly have to take some action. We always say prevention better than cure. You cannot just leave it like that. Just like your mind are so together, you say, I don't care, sleeping, just sleep, I don't care because I'm very tired already. So come to the class, the more just pretend to listen to the class with the eye open, sleep with the eye open. If you leave it like that, then, you'll never come back again. So they say, you more alert, then just, make sure you take some action. Now, fourth, abiding nearby. Chinese called 静住. Abiding nearby. 静. Nearby, 很近. Chinese called 很近, near. 静住. Now, this stage marks the continued progress of one's effort. Keep on progress because you keep on do it. Now, one succeed in not forgetting mindfulness and avoid being scattered, right? Avoid being scattered. So when such things are about to happen, one realizes it and can subdue, right? And can subdue the distraction before it occurs. As I say, prevention better than cure. Always say prevention better than cure. Once you get it, then too bad now. Just now COVID, my surrounding, all my supporter, some of my supporter, I think probably now 4 out of 10, they got it, COVID-19. Got one student asked me, very funny, last week I went for another talk outside one. No, of course not here. Last Sunday. And she asked me, I said, hey, how are you? I said, oh, Sifu, I'm fine. How about you? Do you got the COVID-19? 师父你没有中啊？你看他是不是丑陋哦？very rude。他好像希望我中，我说我中我就不能教书了，中。I say no， 我没有中 ，because to them is one it's so natural so natural already. Why everybody got it? Everybody got it. I mean most of people got it, right? But once you get it, then too bad. That's why we say prevention better than cure. And some they got it, they got some side effect one. I got one supporter, she took more than 2 weeks to fully recover, cough, feel tired, this and that. And now, much more, even more serious, and the variant came out, according to WHO. So I told you before, right, the mask had to wear until you go to the coffin, 带到你死了，这个 mask. I tell you, the thing will disappear already. It's getting serious, more serious. Why? Human being it's actually created by us. It's by our own karma. Everybody is in hygiene. 没有卫生的嘛 Anyhow throw the rubbish, never maintain the place clean, anyhow do it. Dengue also the same thing. Right? The government try to appeal to ask people better be careful, don't overlook the dengue, You focus on pandemic, then how about dengue fever? Dengue. A lot of people get it, Just like people don't know, they divert to more people focus on the pandemic. They forget the dengue already. You see, human beings, these are all you feel threatening, We're living in this world. There's so many things happen. And all this by human. To me, it's by human. Your karma. Spiritual power cannot override karma, right? 神通抵不了业力, You worship to the God. You ask God to bless you, Buddha to bless you. They want to bless you, but how to bless you? You don't bless yourself, then how can I help you? So who to blame? Who to blame? 要怪谁? We have to blame ourselves. Not God, not Buddha, not the government. It's yourself. Everywhere to play the ball, your own role. And some people say, hey, government say optional, we don't need to wear the mask and go outside. Of course, government say like that, but it's up to you, Everything say government. We are too dependent on Singaporean, To me, I think it's spoiled by government. Everything to do it nicely for you. Sometimes pampered, Chinese called pampered. I mean, I think if you ask me, now say talk about politics, it's something to do with Dharma. I think it's no good for the citizen. You do everything for your people. This is another extreme. If you don't do it, corruption, that's another extreme. Right? So Buddhism talk about middle path. Middle path. This should be the way. The Singapore cannot afford to have a welfare state. You see our Lee Kuan Yew? You look at, I was in England study. You look at England, our welfare state. You look at those welfare states country, no money, So the tax is very high, England, the VAT, just our GST, of course our GST is going to increase to 9%, 1 year, next year probably 1%, 8%, another year, slowly 1%, 1%. We call it GST, right? England called VAT. I don't know how this, does it mean I've forgotten. Except my time, I don't know now, 17.5%. Into my PowerBook computer spoiled, notebook, when I studied there. Then I sent for repair. I walk all the down to the town, city area because I stay more on because cheaper, rent the one near the campus, So not so central. I walk all the way down and I ask him to repair. You know how much, Actually, it's nothing, something loose only, but I don't know how to do it. I'm so good at computer. But you need the technician to repair. You know how much they charge me now? They say 20 pounds. I say, 20 pounds, okay, but 20 pounds plus multiply with 2.3, 40幾個就 okay lah, $50 工錢labor, I give you that $50, just like $50 Singapore dollars, 20 pounds, no problem. Besides 20 pounds, then he told me, on top of that, VAT, tax. They haven't considered the tax yet. And the tax is 17.5%. So I had to pay another, I know they have to pay another £100 more. So altogether £120. Wow, 跟你講，聽到要死。Just losing, just tighten it or whatever, not even half an hour, they charge you £120. In England, if something damaged or spoiled in your house, you want to look for the carpenter or whatever, the plumber. Some people do themselves, They learn the basic one. So sometimes once you ask them to come contractor or whatever, they charge you very high one, Very, very high, very expensive one. Then on top of that, the VAT there, wow, I tell you, more than £100. Just imagine, correct or not? So GST, you ask me, say Singapore 5-7%. If you ask me, I say, okay, acceptable. Just I pay the income tax. Now everybody have to pay income tax. Now July already. I also pay income tax. You pay income tax, they say, people feel the itch. Pay there. 很痛, this is my money, whatever. But you can't imagine, if no tax, where got money in country? You don't just follow the Sri Lanka, the step. Right? Now the ex-president, this morning the newspaper end up in Singapore hotel. Which hotel? Probably Orchard. You go and take a look. Pay a visit. Where the whole country bankrupt. So where the money come from? The country, the money. One is from the country very have far-sighted, right? They invest those investment 投资, then they got the money, some profit income. Another money, the source come from the money is from your taxpayer. Right? So I think it's fair. You use the road, you pay the road tax. You stay in a house, you pay the property tax. And let me tell you, actually, it's not very high. Of course, everything got tax, If you compare, I don't want to declare myself, I'm not PAP. I'm just telling you, And some people, they have kind of very funny thinking. I don't want to pay or whatever. Then everything you don't pay, then where the money come from? Army, Ministry of Defense, Lee Hsien Loong, now visited Brunei. And you go and visit the Brunei, the Singapore Army training in Brunei. And all this, people like us, I was in the army before, you travel everything, the money, the food to the army soldier to training, whatever, buy the weapon, all these are money, And Ministry of Defense, the defense very important one. Right? Okay, back to here. So this called abiding nearby, right? They say before it's okay. Thus the mind calmly abides on the objects of focus, okay, and does not become dispersed. Does not become dispersed, and that's why this state is called abiding nearby. It means approaching already, 很近的. You're going to reach already. So this is a fourth stage. 第四个. If harmonized abiding. So the 5 desire, we know that, we learned it before, for form, sound, order, taste, tangible things. Okay? And the 3 poison, santu, these are all considered the affliction, mental defilement,烦恼 in Buddhism. Greed, anger, or sometimes use hatred. Greed, hatred, anger, and ignorance, 无明. 贪嗔痴 in Chinese. So this is called 3 poison. 三毒三毒 poison. Everybody have these 3 poisons. Greed, right? Greed in Buddhism, there's a good and bad one. Just like come here to learn the Dharma, you also have a kind of desire, greed here, because you want to learn the Dharma. Right? You have a strong desire. This is also considered greed or 贪嘛，你贪嘛。Chinese called 法爱。Greed in Dharma, in the Agama Sutra, or Hanjing. But this is a good one. But having said that, at the end of the day, you should let go. Right? You shouldn't cling on to it or attach to it. 执着. So greed, anger, and ignorance, and the 2 types of person, male and female, and are the 10 objects. 这10个 or add up 10. Okay? That cause the minds to be scattered. You look at the pretty girl, you stare on it. And of course, you are not really calm enough, right? Look at the handsome guy, you stare at it. You look at the pretty girl, you see the handsome guy, there's nothing wrong, The problem is we have a kind of a negative thought, the kind of a so-called like negative desire. If you see through it, of course the pretty girl is like your eyes to see something. You say, I don't see. But if you close your eye or you cover a piece of cloth, you don't see, but you think about the pretty girl, also back to the square, even worse. 你不看，但是你乱想呢。Right? You see, for you to see is an art, 艺术啊。You see through it, 哇，你很美，我听到真欢喜。But of course you cannot say 美啦 pretty in Buddhism. You say you are very dignified. 哇，你很庄严哦。哇 ，that's very good. 不止长得好看 they have a wisdom. This one called 庄严 clear no? So you see the Buddhist girl and those ordinary girl different one 气质不一样的。你看你们跟外面的女人比也不一样嘛。Okay, so these are considered 10 objects that cause the mind to be scattered. So when the mind is in equanimity, okay, and it's definite knowledge of the virtues of concentration, so one realizes the faults, right? The faults of desire. So using the stillness to subdue desire, the mind becomes gentle and harmonized and is no longer tempted by these 10 objects. You're not easily influenced by these 10 objects. Just as I say, look at the female or male, you just see through it, nothing wrong. You say, oh, female is my sister, 我的姐姐，我的妹妹. So you don't have the negative thought. So this will subdue, 控制, control your desire. The guy, you say, oh, this is my brother, my old brother, or I treat it like my young brother. So you don't have the kind of negative thought, And this is how you subdue your desire. See, you can see, but you see from other people see the girl. The same object A, but different people see different angle, right? Different perspective. Okay? And some people say, don't go to Orchard Road, your mind feel very scattered one, 因为很多美女这样。Real cultivation, you should go. Face a challenge, see through it. 那个女人一定很气，这个为什么不要看我啊？这样 stare at it. Nothing happened. You know what I mean? So you go. People say, you don't go to the prostitute area in Geylang. You go. Influence them. Convert them to Buddhist. If you can do that. But of course you cannot do that. That's why you don't go. Instead, you want to convert them from red light to green light. They will convert you to green to red light. They convert you, no, you convert them. People have such thinking, right? Don't go there, But Bodhisattva say, I go there, I sacrifice. But of course, you are not Bodhisattva. I mean, you are good enough, you are calm enough, steady enough, you have a wisdom. You go there, talk to them, influence them, come for Dharma class, where? Buddhist lodge. You say, please follow me. Okay, next page Page 267. 6. Quietude, 寂静。Quietude, 寂静。Oh, the five the one called 调 let me see 调顺 the five。调顺。we've got harmonized abiding. Then 6. Quietude, 寂静 in Chinese, 寂静。So the 10 objects are chiefly temptation, right? Temptation, right? 诱惑 temptation of the external environment. So if you are tempted, then you know. So he said there are also the 5 hindrances: greed, anger, sleepiness, restlessness, and doubt. So these are the 5 hindrances, 五盖. So we need to subdue, overcome it. So all this can be subdued by tranquil concentration. So such concentration cannot be disturbed and the mind become quiet. Just like quietude, right? Quiet. So this quietness is like the silent serenity in the middle of the night. Just at midnight, you feel very quiet, right? And some people burn the midnight oil during exam period. And you need to study during the schooling time. Then you come to the exam, before the exam, then you rush it. Burn the midnight oil. We say burn midnight oil. So you don't sleep at the night. And you study during the midnight. Why? Very quiet. Just like go to the library. So you can focus. You can remember. But this is actually no good. Why? Because you didn't study normally and then come to the exam period, then you start to rush it. It's no good for the health also. So, but it is not the extinction. Right? It is not the extinction of nirvana. Alright, haven't come to nirvana yet, 还早嘞, still early. Okay, number 7, supreme quietude, 最极寂静. Supreme. Number 7. Supreme quietude, 最极寂静, supreme. So the preceding, right, quietude is achieved by subduing the various attachments that arise at times. So at this more advanced stage, as soon as an attachment arises, one immediately dispel and eliminate them. You see it, you have to solve it immediately, right? So this is called supreme quietude. To go further, besides just not the quietude, this one go to the supreme, 最极, 最高的. So the next paragraph. So the first 4 abiding mind are the stages of abiding calmly on the object of focus. But one practices cessation and achieves concentration primarily for the purpose of departing for those from unwholesomeness such as desire. Of course, such as desire. So once the power of concentration has become stronger, so in the 5th to the 7th stage, just on the 5th to the 7th stage, until this one, 7th stage, one is at the point of subduing the affliction. Only 5th to the 7th stage, you'll be able to have the power of this power of concentration to subdue affliction. 降服烦恼. The first 4, in other words, the first 4 don't have such a power. Only until practice until 5th to 7th stage, according to the author. Okay? So only when the mind is quiet and pure can one proceed towards right concentration. Right? With this right concentration, of course, then you can generate the wisdom. I mean, of course, you can through contemplation. Okay, number 8, single-pointed concentration. It's called 专注一趣. Number 8. Single-pointed, just focus on one point, one thing. So we call single-pointed concentration. At this point, the mind is able to abide calmly and not be disturbed by the internal or even external, right, bad elements. Okay, one more line. So from here, one can diligently concentrate one's mind on the single object continuously. Then you can focus on any object, just one thing, computer, clock, whatever, books, pencil or something like that, Okay, 9, the last one, maintaining equanimity, 等持 in Chinese. Maintaining equanimity, 等持 in Chinese. So maintaining equanimity, this is a more advanced and single-pointed concentration. Well, this is the last stage already, 9th stage, more advanced. With both skillful effort and without the need for more effort. So one takes no action. Because it's about going to reach your, so you need to work so hard, right? Just like you study normally, week by week or whatever. Then come to the exam time, before exam, you just relax, right? Because you already study normally, they're very confident. People never study one, rush it, study it, have to spend even double your time, have to burn the midnight oil. Doesn't mean that you get the same result or good result if you do that. Okay, no? So you to study normally, everything, just like you every week go back, you read out by yourself, make sure if you accumulate it, so by the time you get a vast of problems, then you don't know how to solve it. And you're wasting your time. All the time wasted. From the module 1 to module 3. And you just pretend to know, sit down here, wasting your time wasted. So having practiced cessation up to this stage, so one is close to attaining concentration. So just imagine if you want to attain concentration, not easy, right? You have to go through all these 9 stages. 你要定, make sure you have achieved 9 abandoning mind. Then you call yourself you already achieved concentrated mind, right? Okay, next paragraph. So the method of practicing concentration varies, as does the time required to achieve it. So although the abandoning mind is taught in the various way, the complete course of skillfully practicing cessation from the initial step of correcting the mind to accomplish right concentration coincide with this, doctrine, of the 9 abandoning mind. Okay, so those who practice cessation should follow this skillful course and recognize their stages of progress. Okay, so doing so will keep them from arrogance, which could impede their progress. Some people say, already achieved concentration. Wow, very arrogant. A lot of people are very arrogant one. I'm very senior. No, 我是大师兄, big brother. You're small brother. No. Just like because I'm already in Buddhism for so many years. But so what? If you never practice it, you're wasting your time for the past 20 years, 10 years. Why not? Okay, turn to the next page. Now, so this concentration, the term here, they tell you how to define concentration. It's slightly different from in module 2. You see the verse 158. If one attains wonderful light blissness, light bliss, Chinese called Qing An Le. Wonderful light bliss means beside your mind, but physical body. Don't forget our physical body. You must make sure our physical body is comfortable. Just like you sit down there, or people ask you to sit the right posture, right? Keep your body straight, close your eye, close your mouth, and then how to rest your hand, everything, and your both legs. And this called adjust, regulate. How to regulate our body, physical body, 调身. And this is something to ensure that our body is more comfortable. If your body is not comfortable, then how to focus? How to practice meditation? Just like you sit down here, if you feel that you sit down here very uncomfortable, then how are you going to focus on the lecture? Cannot focus on, because it's very uneasy. Here pain, that pain. You feel very uncomfortable. So it's the same logic here. So this is called wonderful light bliss. Clear? Qing An Le. Beside the mind, but the body, our physical body. So this can be called the achievement of cessation. Chinese called 止成就. So this is the Buddhist terms. Means concentration. 止成就. Means that, beside your mind have to be focused, but don't forget our physical body. Okay? And this is called achievement of cessation. Cessation, of course, means ting, means ting, concentration. Okay? So this one, you can read up by yourself. We move on to the next one. Verse 159. So in concentration clarity, non-differentiation, Chinese called 无分别, non-differentiation. This is another technical term in Buddhism. Chinese called 无分别. How we cause suffering, ourselves suffer? Because we have a differentiated mind. 我们有分别心 means you like to compare, you differentiate, this is black, this is white, whatever. And this we are very easily to fall into the too extreme. Right? Because in Buddhism talk about all things are depend on causes and conditions, 缘起因缘的. They are not fixed. A can become B, B can become A, I told you before, right? So we call these are the two extreme. Just like this straight line, A and B. Because A condition arise, then just become A. B condition arise, then become B. When here A condition arise, then become A. This A, B condition arise, then become B. It's not fixed, not permanent. 没有永恒的. All things are impermanent in the phenomena, in the universe, in this world. And Buddhism talk about impermanence cause suffering, 无常故苦. And this is how we suffer. The weather, impermanent, keep on changing. And the pandemic also changing all the time. Right? And according to WHO, if the new variant going to come out, is it even more serious? Omicron, 2.45 or 5 or whatever, the name. And this will probably stop people traveling, because spread very fast, You see, 我们好不容易 waiting until the thing going to recover in Singapore, the Changi airport or those traveler. And now the variant come again. Everybody cannot travel. They have to stay put. Things can happen anytime. You don't know what's going to happen after the class. When you walk out from the classroom, and some people say, yeah, 复习班啦, Dharma class, okay lah. Next year then I register lah. Next year, who knows? Next year you also disappear, I also disappear. Anything can happen. 无常. And see our life, we are so fragile. 很脆弱的 our life, How long you can live? 80 years, 90 years, 100 years. Even instead about longevity, 长寿. In the world, those countries, a lot of longevity one. In Japan. In China, got one place. I've forgotten the name, right? China. So far, I know these two places. I mean, Asia country. You see, the Japanese people are very long life one. 日本人很长寿的. Singapore not too bad, Because Singapore people 惊死嘛, 惊输惊死嘛. In Hokkien, so they eat a lot of supplement, then they got money to enjoy like this and that. So in average, Singapore age is about 83.5 years old. Average, 不知幾個死咯. Right? Some people can live until 90 or 100 something. Wow. Okay, back to here. So in concentration clarity, non-differentiation. Because anything changes, so we wouldn't attach to it, cling on to the two extremes, so-called the two extremes. And a wonderful light bliss. So can be attained by Buddhists and non-Buddhists. That's why in Buddhism talk about concentration, even for non-Buddhists, 不是佛教 other religion. I told you already, Hinduism, Taoism, Catholic, Christianity. Catholic also practice meditation. I told you already, Lee Kuan Yew learn the Catholic one. His friend from the government investment company. I told you before, right? Initially, he learned from the Buddhist brother, meditation. But I don't know how he taught him. Until in the later stage, he convert to Catholic one. So he used the Catholic method. So not only Buddhism, we practice meditation, even other religions also practice meditation. Even you use the bead, 念珠 I saw sometimes the sister use the bead to 念佛. You must know the purpose of the bead. B-A-D, beads. Catholic, they also have beads, 他们也是有念珠的嘞. Of course, they're not Chang Amitofo lah. You know what I mean? Because they are not Buddhists. You know. And as a lay people, if you want to use the bead to recite the Buddha's name or Bodhisattva name, my advice to you, don't buy so big one. No? Even bigger than Asanga one. No? You know, that's very prominent. The way, if you, what happen, you travel MRT, 全部在看你的脸就多多粒的. Wow, so big. Like 18 Arahat. You know the drama? Wow, 多多粒的阿罗汉 you know? More bigger than the Sangha, 比我们出家人还大力的那种. And I know the purpose of beads. Right? Okay, back to here. Next time then I tell you. So, can be attained by Buddhist or non-Buddhist. 内外. Right? Whether Buddhism or non-Buddhist. But concentration differs in terms of, Buddhism talk about concentration is different from other religion because Buddhism talk about right concentration, 镇定, with the word right. This one right is just like wisdom, means wisdom, right? Just like Eightfold Path, right understanding, right thought, right effort, you know, right speech or whatever, and so on and so forth. Right concentration, then right mindfulness, then right concentration. So our concentration is different from non-Buddhist one. That's why you use the word right, because with this right concentration, we'll be able to do the contemplation, right? Then after that, you can generate wisdom, practice in our daily life. Okay? So, he said, but concentration differs in terms of wisdom. Buddhism talk about wisdom. What we want is wisdom. Wisdom is our ultimate goal, but not concentration. It's just that we need concentration in order to have wisdom. Without concentration, difficult to practice contemplation. But concentration is not our ultimate goal. But we still need concentration. Of course, our ultimate goal is prajna, wisdom. We're going to talk about wisdom later on, right? So, but concentration differs in terms of wisdom that comes from contemplation. I told you already, right? You have to need the contemplation with concentration. Then we do the contemplation. Chinese called 观照. Contemplation means 观想,观照. In this case, to contemplate the Dharma, 观照佛法. Buddha teaching. Okay? In order to generate wisdom. Okay, can you turn to the page 270? The rest you read up by yourself, huh? Okay, we move on this so-called so much for the concentration. So we move on to the last perfection. We call it Prajna Paramita, the perfection of wisdom. 智慧度. Can you take a look on the PowerPoint here? Prajna Paramita. The word prajna paramita combines, right? The Sanskrit word prajna. Prajna means wisdom. Or in English, something called it insight. Insight. 智慧. Okay? With paramita, of course, they translate into English called perfection. 度. Chinese called 度, perfection. Or transcendent. So prajna paramita is a central concept in Mahayana Buddhism. Very important. Central concept in Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, and is generally associated with the ideas such as emptiness. Of course, if you use exactly one more accurate word, we call it ultimate emptiness. Right? There's a term called ultimate emptiness, 毕竟空. If you talk about emptiness, it's just like in Theravada Buddhism or in your module 2, in the three vehicles. But if you more precisely, we talk ultimate emptiness. Or emptiness, ultimate. Ultimate, U-L-T-I-M-A-T-E, ultimate. Chinese called 毕竟空. It means emptiness or emptiness. 空空, 逃开康康, 空空. Okay, such as emptiness, sunya, lack of essence, 无自性. Lack of essence, the illusory nature of things. Okay? How? Can you turn to next one? All phenomena are characterized, by non-arising. 无生, non-arising in Chinese. 无生. Okay? And the Madhyamika thought, 中观, this is actually one of the three different systems of thought in Mahayana Buddhism. After this one, we will cover already. After this one, we will teach you the 4 embracing virtues, the 10 bhumi, 10 stages of Bodhisattva. Then we'll follow by these 3 different systems of thought. Chinese called 大乘三系. And this is very interesting and very profound, right? In this module, 很精彩的. I mean, if you really like the Dharma, 你外面很少读到的，我没有骗你的 ，it's correct. Okay, so Nagarjuna, Majing method of Nagarjuna, Chinese called 龙树菩萨. Have you heard it? Nagarjuna, 龙树菩萨. It's one of the second Buddha, the Tibetan Lama. I read the textbook. Then they give you the nicknames Nagarjuna, just like second Buddha. 第二佛陀. Second Buddha, number 1. He's the second vice chairman. Alright, Chinese called 龙树. Okay, so Nagarjuna, its practice and understanding are taken to be indispensable elements of Bodhisattva path. Okay, of Bodhisattva path. Okay, back to the textbook. Prajna Paramita, verse 160. The Prajna Paramita is normally superior. Of course, I told you already, this is a unique in Buddhism and very important wisdom in Buddhism. When you talk about enlightenment, we talk about liberation. Right? Of course, I told you before, wisdom is different from knowledge. It's just that you come here to gain the Dharma knowledge. And this is called knowledge. And knowledge, sometimes you say, hey, yeah, I know the Dharma. Why I still you烦恼? Why I'm still suffering? Why I still have the affliction? Why still you烦恼? I know the Dharma, but know is one thing, no? Do another thing, no? 知而容易行而难呢. We want to practice it, it's more challenging, more difficult, you know. Correct or not? And you come here to gain the Dharma knowledge, and this is just a knowledge. It's until you put into practice in your daily life. And this is how you generate the wisdom. So in other words, wisdom is come from the knowledge. And this is also to link up to the what Buddha taught us. Dharma cannot be separated from daily life. Cannot be separated from daily life. 佛法不离世间觉. It's something to do with our daily life. So we have to realize all things in our daily life. Day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. But some people just simply overlook it. Never pay attention to it. Right? Any things for instance, today's Sunday, from morning until night, if you realize it, if you observe something, you realize something, and that is so-called a truth. Satya. Sanskrit called Satya. 不是 Satya. S-A-T-Y-A, Sanskrit, means truth. T-R-U-T-H, truth. Okay, so it's normally superior because all liberation rely on it. Just like we talk about 3 vehicles in your module 2, Arahat, Arohan, liberation, 解脱. You have to depend on the wisdom. No wisdom, just like we say, no money, no thought. No money, no thought. No wisdom, no liberation, no enlightenment, no Buddha. No wisdom, no Buddha. 没有智慧就没有佛. Right? And just imagine, so wisdom are very, very important. You talk about cultivation, we talk about Dharma class, Dharma talk, chanting. What we want is wisdom. Just like 你说念经保佑保佑. But they don't know what do you mean by 保佑 blessing. They talk 保佑 from the spiritual power of Buddha. 变 have a spiritual power, this and that. This is called blessing. No. I told you already, spiritual power cannot override karma. They say, Buddha here for what? 你都不能保佑我, you stand here for what, then we worship to you. Buddha here is to guide us. To guide us to walk the right path. To guide us to the way to Buddhahood. You see the textbook, the way to Buddhahood, not the way to the heaven or the way to the hell. Right? It's the way to Buddhahood. Guide us. We ourselves, we have to do it by ourselves. We have to walk the path. Buddhas merely show the way. Just like usher. When you go to cinema, now cinema probably no usher. The old timer got usher, right? The top time. A seat, A20. Oh, you always sit there, circle seat. You always sit here one. You see, this is called habit already. She also used to sit there. Ru they also used to sit there. And this become his seat already. 你不要去坐啊. If they're absent, not come here. And this empty seat is cannot see through your naked eye one. Because the 7 months coming already. You see those people outside the seven brother, Ho Yati, good brother, right? The first row, all these are VIP seat one, you know. And they special service, you know, a cup of coffee or whatever. And this is what they believe. They say this one all Ho Yati one, good brother, cannot see through your naked eye. And now 7 months coming already. They say now government want to control those people and anyhow burn the incense paper. You can burn. But you burn it in the people control, there's a compound for you to burn. You anyhow burn, it causes air pollution, they fly here and there. Pieces, all the paper are all there, spread everything. Then you say, hey, I pay the money, I pay the town council, I pay the money already. So they have to do the job. Otherwise they have nothing to do. You say, I throw things for them to pick up the rubbish. If no rubbish, no job. You see, some people believe that. The kind of funny thinking. Human beings are very funny one. You see, recently the second lane crossway to Johor, the ladies and the son, and I heard the son going to wear the NUS t-shirt, liao. The YouTube, everything can see, you're from the National University of Singapore. Wow, 假来了, 变成网红, everybody know him. And the girl start to regret already. Regret to do that. Violence, because he go and hammer the car, take out the plate, whatever. Wow, I see this girl, like hero, Kana tapo, msi zabo, So now Zabo Mrs. say brave, Yeah, you look at her also very brave. They don't want to go kaki already, go Hojan. Okay, so all Buddhas come from it. Wisdom, very, very important. So the detailed one you can read out from the. Okay, can you turn to page 272? I tell you one thing, this one very rich in content. I told you before, right? Module 3, 我跟你讲啊。A lot of things to study one. If I want to go in detail, 我跟你讲 16 weeks cannot. 16 lessons. Some people do 12 weeks. I don't know how they covered it. But they didn't follow the textbook. They just use the Google search, take out the material. Yeah, you can do that. That one very simple. But if you really want to follow the textbook, I tell one thing, not easy. 其实里面还有很多我没有讲呢。I just highlight to you. Then you read about yourself first. If you don't, you come back to me. Otherwise, cannot finish. Okay, next one, verse 161. So the direct, especially the Prajna, a lot. You can see the content a lot. Prajna very important, so they cover in detail. Compared with the previous 5 perfection, 其他的5度, but the 智慧度, the Prajna parameter, a lot. 我讲你就知道了, this one, a lot of verses. Okay, verse 161. The direct realization of enlightenment comes from what? Practice. What does it mean? Dharma is not just a theory, If we have to practice it, 我们要做. Once you practice it on the spot, this is called direct realization. On the spot, you realize it. Then this is how wisdom comes. Then 你就 let go 断烦恼, Then you don't simply have a differentiated mind, then cling on to it, and cause the suffering. Just like the impermanent, even the weather hot, 外面是热的, but your inner world is 凉凉的, 心凉凉冷冷. So you don't simply influenced by the external world. Right? So it's how you switch, you say how you switch it from negative to positive. Just 1 second only. 你会想就痛。你不会想 go back. And whether you have a positive or negative thought, that is really whether you have the skill to do it, whether you have a wisdom to do it. This is a challenge. And this is called wisdom. So the direct realization of enlightenment comes from practice. And practice comes from what? Thinking and learning. So Chinese call another 3 stages. You call 闻思修. Have you heard before? listening, or we call it hearing, thinking, practicing. 闻思修 just like here. They say practice comes from thinking and learning, right? Thinking and learning. Just like now, you come here to learn, you have to start to think whether reasonable or not. Why Buddha say that? Then you go out, you need to practice it. 闻思 here for you to do two things only. 闻 and 思. That means hearing and thinking. Once you're out from here, you go and practice. 2 weeks for you to practice. After 2 weeks, come here again. So, which means that we are all patient. So, we are under medication once every 2 weeks. If you don't come here to take the medicine, then you become more serious with illness. 你的病就很严重. So once you become cancer, sorry, bye-bye, cannot be cured. So prevention better than it. So you come here every lesson to come to collect Dharma medicine. They're using this example, analogy. We are all patient. 我们都是病人. Not physical illness, more on the mental illness, means affliction. So everybody 怕死嘛. So if you want to die, then you come here to collect medicine, no? 要乖乖来看病，因为他是 doctor 嘛，他是医王嘛。Right? So we come here to collect medicine from Buddha. Right? So and practice come from thinking and learning. Virtuous friends in terms of good and knowledgeable people, 善知识. Okay? And further learning. Right? And further learning are to be relied on for the development of wisdom. What we learn from virtuous friends, from good and knowledgeable people, or come for the Dharma class, Dharma talk, because we want wisdom. We want the Dharma, to know the Dharma. Of course, we know the Dharma is only theory, knowledge. Without knowledge, how to practice it? Just like you learn the mathematics, you must know the equation, how to derive the equation. Once you know how to derive the equation, then you can practice it. Mathematics are like that one, all the figure or whatever. So we need to practice. More practice makes you more experienced how to solve the problems. Okay? Okay, can you turn to page 274? Okay, we got 3-4 minutes to go. Okay, last verse. 162, verse 162. Prajna, wisdom, is fundamentally non-dual. Wow, 这个奇妙. This is another Buddhist term. Non-dual in Buddhist called Chinese 不二 non-dual. There's a Chinese phrase called 不二法门 at the Vimarakirti Sutra, 维摩诘经. This is a 维摩诘讲堂嘛. This hall, right? They name it Vimarakirti in Sanskrit. He's a great lay people, 在家的一个居士. He's not Bodhisattva, but of course he eventually became Bodhisattva or Buddha, right? And this non-dual in Chinese called 不二法门, 不二 means, if you see the Chinese word 不二, they say, 不是两个一个嘛? No. This 二 duality, that means 两个 it means two extreme. Or English we call duality. A and B. Non-duality, 不二 means middle path. Neither A nor B. Neither A nor B. 非 A 非 B in Chinese. So this called 不二 also means middle path. Non-dual. Of course, also means wisdom. Also means non-differentiation. 无分别. That's why you see a lot different expression, but they imply the same meaning. Okay, called non-dual. So, however, the practice varies because of people different capacity. 众生不同的根基 capacity. We call it capacity. 不同的根基 in Buddhism talk about sharp and dull capacity. 立根跟钝根 sharp. That means you are very sharp That means you are very intelligent. Sharp capacity or dull. 立根, 钝根 in Chinese. 立根 means people are very intellectual, very smart, very intelligent. If you use the Mandarin word. 钝根 people like you and me, very stupid. More on emotion rather than understanding. Right now? So in Buddhism, basically they have two capacity. 众生两种根基. One is sharp, the other one is dull capacity. 立根跟钝根. Okay? So the sutras and treatises on prajna, whether sutra spoken by the Buddha, discoursed by the Buddha, this is called sutra, directly from the Buddha. Treatise, Chinese called lun. Lun. Okay? Lun. Lun is actually spoken by the great philosopher or eminent monks, but it's not by the Buddha. Or they explain the sutra, the meaning of the sutra, and this one called treatise, lun. Right? Sanskrit called sastra. Sutra, Qing. Yam Qing. That one is from the Buddha. And are the close guide for the practitioner of prajna. Okay? I think as for the detail, I will explain it in 7 August, our next lesson. Time's up already. The next one, upaya, 方便. This one I explain to you when you come for the next lesson. Okay, so today we stop here, 11:16. Anything you want to ask? If not, okay, shall we do the dedication? Okay, please hold the palm and follow me. May all the merits thus accumulated be dedicated to all sentient beings. May all sentient beings and I together attain Buddhahood. Okay, please stand up. Okay, please hold the palm. One bow to the Buddha. Okay, see you all. Enjoy lunch. Okay, see you on 7 August. Go for lunch.